Are there any private member statements? I call the member for Baulkham Hills.
Thank you very much, Mr Acting Speaker. In the modern age, we seem to be more connected yet more isolated. As technology allows people to do more with less time, we seem to work longer hours, which removes our sense of belonging within our community. While this is disappointing to my generation, who grew up knowing almost everyone in our street, it is comforting to know that not only is there a sense of community being kept alive in the Baulkham Hills electorate, but our tradition of volunteering is also well and truly thriving in Sydney's northwest. As the Queen's Birthday holiday Monday, on the Queen's Birthday holiday Monday, I was delighted to invite members of St John Ambulance, the State Emergency Service and the Rural Fire Service for an afternoon tea at the Castle Hill RSL. Whether our volunteers be firefighters, first aiders or fix-it people who fear no weather conditions, our volunteers allow our community to go about its business with a minimum of fuss, enjoying our social activities and community gatherings at very little cost to the taxpayer. The Hills is one of those most generous communities in our state and indeed our nation when it comes to giving up our time and putting our shoulders to the wheel and helping those without needs seeking financial gain. The spirit of volunteerism is alive and well in the Hills District, and there are plenty more people in our community who volunteer with other organisations, and the community as a whole acknowledges their efforts and thanks them for their sense of altruism, kindness and hard work, which makes the Hills such a wonderful place to live. Last Monday fortnight was a fantastic afternoon, and the Minister for Emergency Services, the Honourable Stuart Ayres, was kind enough to join our volunteers for the afternoon, along with guest of honour, Federal Minister for Human Services, Senator the Honourable Maurice Payne. Exemplifying the spirit of community giving was our MC for the afternoon's event, Mr Gareth McRae of Radio 2CH fame. Gareth's contribution to our community is of such breadth and depth that I would need several extensions of time just to get through them all. We are entertained on the day by both the Castle Hill RSL Youth Wind Orchestra, ably led by Mr James Bryce, and the Castle Hill RSL Pipe Band, whose rendition of Amazing Grace lived up to the title of the song itself. It would be remiss of me not to thank for their contribution to volunteering in the Hills and across the whole of New South Wales Superintendent John Hogel of the Baulkham Hills Rural Fire Service, Local Controller Evelyn Leston of the Hills SES, and St John Ambulance Commissioner Ken Kelman and Chief Executive Officer Mark Newton for the wonderful leadership skills that they provide in those three volunteer combat agency organisations. The contributions of individuals and their volunteers fills me with comfort, knowing that while future generations might be encountering new technologies and jobs, there will be some things that will never go out of fashion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Private member statements.